Hi, my name is Sarah Sweeney, and I'm the occupational therapist at the Rise School of Austin. I'm making this video today to help provide you with some tools or activities that you might be able to do at home with your child. Occupational therapy is, the hope of occupational therapy is to help make a client or patient as independent as functionally possible. When you're working with children, this might look like independence in their play skills, their self-care skills, their social skills, and even going to school. So the most important thing about occupational therapy, though, is it all has to be fun. If a child doesn't realize that they're working, then you're probably going to get a lot more out of them. If you can really tap into what they find interesting, or being silly, all of those things can make their time much more purposeful and playful and much more successful. So today I'm really going to talk about fine motor skills. And fine motor skills are those fine little muscles in your hands and fingers. And as we develop, we all develop from our core out to our fingers. So you can't really talk about fine motor skills without talking about gross motor skills, because fine motor skill development is critical for toddlers, as it lays the groundwork for so many skills such as writing their name, fastening their jackets, tying shoes, and eating with eating utensils, and so many more. You know, for little ones, tummy time is so important, really working on that head control, being able to push up on hands up against gravity. Is really where being able to shift weight from hand to hand and starting to work on that shoulder stability. That's going to lead into, pushing up on hands and knees and rocking back and forth, or reaching for a toy, which then we get into crawling. And crawling is so important. It works on, like I said, that weight bearing through the shoulder joint, really working on that shoulder stability. It works on all the really development of all the arches in the hand, which are critical for fine motor skills. Works on bilateral coordination and that reciprocal movement. So those are some really important things for kiddos, and when we have to encourage that, working on crawling through tunnels and maybe playing games where everybody's on their tummy or up on hands and knees, and trying to really encourage that. When a child gets upright, even sometimes still crawling through tunnels, crawling on equipment, like on the couch, on pillows, making little obstacle courses, all of that can still really continue to work on those skills. Bear walking through the house, and then even working upright on vertical surfaces like an easel, or there could be scribbling or painting, finger painting in the bath time, putting shaving cream up on the wall. Those are all great skills for working on that shoulder stability. As the child really develops that shoulder stability, you'll start to see their scribbling. Maybe it starts where it's really large movements coming from the shoulder, and they get more stable, and then it'll be kind of maybe movements from the elbow, and then they're going to get that more stable as they get stronger, and it'll be kind of at the wrist movements, and then you'll start to see those fine intrinsic muscles working, and that's really the goal of all of that. Scribbling is kind of the very first precursor for writing skills. So letting your child scribble with chalk and crayons and window crayons in the bath time, they're putting shaving cream on the wall and scribbling, or bath time crayons. There's so many fun ways to work on this, that it doesn't have to just be a crayon and paper. I love drawing on foil, on cookie sheets, and there's so many things. And scribbling is, like I said, that very first precursor, and then it leads into being able to imitate strokes. Being able to imitate a vertical stroke and going zip, and imitating a horizontal stroke. A lot of times we'll say zoom. You can do that with cars and trucks and all different things, and that's a fun way to really kind of work on that very, very, very pre-writing skill. Also for little ones, really having them problem solve opening and closing containers. Anything that requires two hands that they have to stabilize and open a bottle, or pulling a lid off, even trying to get their pincers to open up a Ziploc baggie. Those are all great skills that we can be working on. So for little ones, You know, when they're really small, we're working on bilateral coordination, reaching for toys, grasping all different kinds of, from rattles to smaller, starting to do little food pellets, working on that pincer grasp is so important. Learning how to stack blocks, learning how to knock them over, have cause and effect. If they really love trucks, then zoom and knock over those blocks, but really have them help be a part of stacking them. Turning pages of the book can be so important, and also working again on that fine motor skills. A developmentally appropriate skill for this age is putting things in and taking things out, which kids love to do. So you can kind of grade that type of activity to kind of make that just right challenge for your child, where it's not too hard and not too easy, but helping them to where it's a little bit challenging, but then they're successful, which again, that's going to help build on that confidence. So if your child's just to where like putting a ball into something, the toy, and it makes it go, or you might start there, or you might be able to get even smaller, putting straws in things, putting cards in things, little smaller beads if they don't put things in their mouth. I like doing activities even where you might get a little container that has holes in it, and they might have to put toothpicks in it. But that can be a really fun activity for little kiddos at that age. Also doing activities with both hands. That's that bilateral coordination where both hands have to work together, whether they're doing activities at the same time, like clapping their hands, rolling, wheels on the bus go round and round, but really some of those songs and hand motions can be so great. Swish, 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 for working on some of that coordination, as well as when you're doing asymmetrical tasks, so where one hand becomes more of a stabilizer while the other hand is really doing the action, maybe like holding a bottle and twisting off the lid, or pulling apart Tupperware, holding a piece of paper while scribbling. So some of those really kind of first bilateral coordination skills, like taking their socks off, really using both hands to pull those socks off, and even starting to put them back on. And again, you might adapt the activity to where the sock's almost all the way on their foot, and they just have to pull it up over their heel to help them be successful. But you want to challenge them, and if that's way too easy, then just put it over maybe the ball of their foot, or just the toes, things like that when you're really working on activities. I hope these few ideas have helped give you some ideas of things you can be doing at home. Just remember to play and have fun. Encourage your child to be as independent as possible when there's that opportunity. All right, good luck. Bye.